Welcome to 30 minutes of stretching yoga. Today you'll need a mat, something cushy to sit on, as well as a strap of some kind. Now this can be a piece of string, a belt, anything that you would like. But essentially you want to be able to change the size of the loop because we're going to be using it on our hands as well as with our legs today. But for right now we can go ahead and set that off to the side. And we're going to begin our practice in child's pose. So we're going to come to all fours, wrists under elbows, underneath shoulders, hips aligned with the knees. Plant your palms firmly and big toes touching, knees apart. I'm going to press back slightly into child's pose. You want to bring your hips all the way down to your heels if possible. If not, just as far as you can go. Resting. You don't want this to be strenuous right now. We're just getting into our yoga practice. And bring yourself all the way down. Here we can start our Ujjayi breathing, which is breathing in and out of the nose. Almost sounds like ocean waves. You can start to press back a little bit more through the palms of the hands. This is the part of the class where we can set our intention, whether it is to just make it through this 30-minute yoga class or to be nicer today or love someone more today, whatever it may be. Just take a few more breaths here. At the bottom of your next exhale, come up to all fours. Plant your palms firmly, again wrists underneath shoulders. Curl your toes under, press down through your hands and lift up with your hips to downward facing dog. This pose you really want to be pressing through all 5 fingers. Your palms should be flush and your heels should be reaching towards the mat. They may be up high right now if your hamstrings are really tight, but that's okay. This is our first downward dog of the day, so you can walk it out a little, moving your feet back and forth, side to side, and just take some deep breaths. And then when you're ready, come to a good downward dog, pressing through the hands and reaching with the heels. Two more breaths. Make sure your head's relaxed. Inhale, look forward. Walk your feet to your hands. Feet can be touching, toes touching, heels slightly apart. Grab opposite elbows with opposite hands and just hang. Maybe swing back side to side. If you need to bend your knees here, that's totally fine. Your hamstrings might still be tight or always tight. So whatever is more comfortable for you. But you should be feeling a stretch across the back of the hamstrings right in here. Release your hands to the floor and slowly roll up to standing. Now we're going to go into our warm-up phase. And this is called Sun Salutation A. So it's a series, breath to movement, and I'll go slowly through it the first time, and then we'll go through it 4 more times, and I'll just be saying the breath and then where I want you to go. And that's to get our bodies warmed up and ready for the rest of the practice. So, toes touching, heels slightly apart. We're going to start in inhale, Tadasana. So you want to plant your feet firmly. You want all 4 corners of your feet feeling like they're touching. So your toes are touching, there's a little sliver in your heels, and you're pressing down, rotating your thighs out. Inhale, your hands all the way up. You want your shoulder blades down and plugged in, not up here. You also don't want to do a duck butt like this. You want to pull that in by tightening the stomach muscles. So we have our hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Now this is easy. You can bring your arms through heart center, flat back all the way to the bottom. Or for forward fold, some people like to do more of a swan, but again, don't duck butt all the way out. Keep a flat back as much as you can all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Palms can be facing each other in this one, or they can be on your shins. Either way, you just want to make sure you have as flat a back as possible, and this is just releasing all of the glute muscles, the maximus and the medius, as well as stretching out the hamstrings again. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold into chaturanga. Now, chaturanga is basically a high to low plank with an upward facing dog and a downward facing dog. So we'll move through it slowly. So, going to exhale to chaturanga. Bend your knees a lot. Plant your palms underneath your shoulders. Again, you always want to have good alignment. Step back to a high plank. And make sure you're doing a good plank. Flat back, hips raised. And on your exhale, as you're coming down, you're exhaling all the way through. You're going to bend your elbows halfway to here. Then you're going to flip your feet, one and then the other. Inhale, upward facing dog. And all you're doing is pressing up. You're not moving any other part of your body. You're not flipping your head back or anything like that. Then you're going to tuck your toes back under and press back to downward facing dog. And take a few breaths here. Inhale, gaze forward. Walk your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up to standing. Now we're going to go through that 4 more times. And this time, instead of cueing you on everything, I'm just going to do breath to movement so we can get our bodies warmed up. So, toes touching, heels apart. Feel the muscles in your body are all slightly contracted so that you're moving with grace, not just flopping all about. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And breathe. Inhale, gaze forward. Walk your feet to your hands. Inhale all the way up to Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Walk your feet to your hands. Inhale all the way up to Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more, guys. Inhale, look forward. Walk your feet to your hands. Inhale all the way up to Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga. And breathe. Take a few breaths here. And downward facing dog. You can walk it out again if you want. Move your hips side to side. And we should be starting to feel a little bit of heat now, especially if you're inside. I'm outside, so it's a little bit cooler right now. This time, as you inhale, look forward and walk your feet. Keep your knees bent. Cross your ankles. And come to a seated position. I'm going to turn to face you for a second. Next, now that our bodies are warm, we're going to go into hips. Try to get those hips, the iliopsoas muscles, and all the different muscles in the hips stretched out. And this will help with increasing flexibility in the legs. So, first we're going to go into bound angle pose. So, you're going to bring the heels of your feet together, or the soles of your feet. And I'll scoot back a little so you can see me better here. Now, if you're out here, that's fine. You can bring it closer, that's good. But basically, you want to feel the stretch in your groin area. Now, if you don't feel a lot because you're really flexible, you can put your hands on the outside edges and you can press down. Knees are spread wide. Now, you want to grab on to your feet if you can. If not, just keep your hands up and arms lightly resting on the outside edges and slightly pressing down, making sure to keep your back as straight as possible in this pose. If you are a little bit more flexible and this is not enough, you grab around the outside and bind your hands. Inhale as high as you can. You want to feel like there is a string pulling from the top of your head. And exhale, fold forward. Breathing out. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold forward. And go as far as you can. And then just breathe. Take some deep breaths, and you should really start to feel your hips opening up. Feel that stretch in there. And again, if you're way out here, that's fine. Just stay here. We are all different flexibilities, and some of us are still growing. So a couple more breaths. One more together. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Now we're going to go into reverse pigeon. And this is to help open up the outside of the hips. So you're going to come all the way down to your back. You're going to take your right ankle and put it on your left knee. B. Then put your hands in between and grab your left thigh, flexing both feet and pulling back to feel that stretch on the outside of your hip. This is something we should do every day for our lower backs and our hips and our legs. It's a great stretch. And a couple of deep breaths here. Two more. Lower both feet back down to the mat and switch sides. So ankle comes to the top of the opposite knee. Reach through the center and grab that right leg now. Flex both to back and gently pull. However much pull you need to feel the stretch. You also want to make sure that your lower back stays flat on the floor during this. And we'll take 3 big deep breaths here. And you want to try to breathe into where the tightness is. So I'm feeling tightness in my hips. So I'm going to try to send my breath there on my inhales. And exhale, both feet to the mat. Now we're going to go into our leg stretches. And for this one, we're going to need our straps. Straps are really great, especially if you find that you aren't as flexible as you would like. Now we want this loop this time to be as big as possible. You're going to lay back down, bring one leg in. We'll start with the left, or you can start with the right, as long as we get both legs. Then you're going to hold both sides of the straps, and if it's long enough, you can wrap it around your hands and pull. The right leg, in my case, is going to go straight. You have that strap across the ball of your foot, and then you're just going to pull that foot in. Now, if you have to have your knee bent, that's totally fine. Again, it all depends on where you're at today. And breathe. You're going to take 3 deep breaths here, and you just want to keep your lower back flat on the mat for this. The bottom of that breath. Last breath, you're going to take the strap into your right hand, if it's your left foot, and you're going to just pull. You're going to put the other hand out flat to help keep you stable. You want to keep both shoulders on the mat. You're just going to pull your leg over as far as it'll go and feel that stretch on the outside of the hips again. As far as you can go, you can also bend it a little if you need to, but the goal is to have it straight and coming across. And eventually you can do this without a strap. No, I'm not there yet. And breathe. 2 more breaths. Right. And bring our leg back back up to center, you can grab the strap with the other hand and pull it back up. Now, again, you're going to switch hands and you're going to let the leg fall out. But the goal, you can use both if you want, is to keep that leg up. Don't let it go way down here. As far up this way and as straight as possible. And let it come all the way down. Again, you want to keep both shoulders on the mat, and when you feel ready, you can let go and you can extend the opposite hand and breathe. Take 3 deep breaths here. You're going to bring your leg all the way back up to center, pull it into the chest, and lay it down, and we'll swap sides. So, bring that opposite foot up. For me, now it's my right, because I started with my left. Hold your strap with both hands, and push out and up. Get that leg as straight as possible, and then pull down and forward, keeping that bottom foot flexed. And 3 deep breaths here. After the 3 breaths, then you're going to bring your leg across your body, so holding it with both hands if you need to, and just draw it across the body. Stretch out your opposite hand, keeping your shoulders close to the mat, on the mat, and pulling up and forward, flexing both feet, and 3 deep breaths. You can move your hips a little bit if you need to do that, but just keep your shoulders on the ground. 1 more breath here. And then inhale your leg all the way up. And change hands, or grab with both hands and pull your leg out to the other side as far as it will go. Flex that foot, reach out the opposite hand, and 3 deep breaths here. Make sure there's nothing in your way. In my case right now the bench is there, but that's okay. 1 more breath. Bring your leg all the way back up to center. Release your strap, set it off to the side because we'll need it again later, and draw both knees into the chest. Oh, feels nice. You should start to feel your lower back release. Now we're going to go into, I call it half happy baby, but it is actually called something else that I didn't write down. So, gonna bring your one leg in if you can. Grab the big toes, the outside of the foot, the inside of the foot. I always grab my big toes, that's easier for me. And then you're gonna bring your foot up and pull down with your arm. You should feel more stretch across the back. And we're just really opening up those hamstrings today. 3 deep breaths here. Exhale, release that leg down. Bring the other one up. In this case, it's my left leg. Grab the big toe, bring it up, and pull down. You can flex that bottom foot of the leg that's outstretched, and 3 deep breaths here. This is great stretch for the hamstrings. Really opens it all up. Exhale, release that leg down to the mat. Pull both knees into the chest. And then we're going to rock maybe once, twice, and 3 times up to a seated position. We are going to plant our hands, step back. Now if you want to be really snazzy and have momentum after a while, you can 1, 2, 3, and hop back into plank. But you don't have to do that. You can either go straight into downward facing dog here, or you can do it optional chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Inhale, gaze forward, walk your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale all the way up to standing. Now that we've worked our lower body, we're going to start at our shoulders and work our way into our sides. So, start with the shoulders. Do a few shoulder shrugs. We'll do 5 to be exact. So, 1, 2, inhale as you bring them up, exhale as you lower them down. 3, 4, 5, maybe we'll do a few more. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then we're going to release the shoulders. So we're going to put our hands on either side and we're going to do small circles. First forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Next is half moon, and this is starting to loosen up our side bodies. So you're going to clasp your hands in front of you, but you want your pointer fingers extended still, see? So all your fingers, thumbs crossed, and then you're plant your feet down, pressing down through your hips, keeping your stomach in and your hips not tucked but not duck butt. We want to avoid that again, like this. Crossed, toes touching and heels slightly apart. Bring your hands up over your head, but don't overextend your shoulders. Keep your shoulders down, so not way up here. You want them down. Not way up here. You want them down. Deep breath in, and you want to pull your ribs up and away. And then exhale to one side. Inhale to center. Exhale to the other side. Sorry, you can't see my hands. My camera doesn't zoom out enough. And just go back and forth like this a few more times. Deep breaths. Remember to keep your shoulders down. Even I forget to do that. Exhale, release your hands. Now we're going to bring our hands behind our back and clasp them. If you can't, because your shoulders are too tight, this is where the strap and having a smaller loop comes in. So we're going to make this smaller so you can see here. If I can do it, I can show you. Okay, so I'm going to make a small loop. And so if you can't clasp your hands, this is another good thing that a strap is good for. You can put it behind your back and put your hands inside the loop like this and pull it as tight as you need to, and then eventually over time you'll be able to pull it tight enough that your hands can be gripped together. But in the meantime, if you can't, put that strap on there and press out as you go down. Again, pull the stomach muscles in, roll your tailbone down, toes touching, heels slightly apart, and fold forward. And you want your arms to come up over your head. Like this if you have the strap. You don't need the strap. Simply clasp your arms. And this actually helps to release the shoulders as well as stretch the hamstrings. It's called the Yoga Mudra. You can also bend your knees here if your hamstrings are still a little tight. Or you're just starting and it's the first time you've done this video. Exhale, release your hands to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. We're going to move on to our next sequence now. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Plant that foot between your front two hands, pressing back through your heel but not flat. Keep your knee over your ankle. Then we're going to inhale to warrior one. So inhale, straight up. Bring that back foot in slightly. You want it to be pointed out at about a 45-degree angle. Put your hands on your hips and face them forward. Hands come up over your head, palms facing each other, shoulders down, tailbone rolled under. Exhale, warrior two. You're going to open up that bottom foot so it's parallel with the back of your mat. Keep your knee over your ankle. Depending on how flexible you are, you may be able to make this stance wider. Just want to keep this right angle here. Hips this time are facing the front of the room, or in my case, the camera. And you want both thighs pulling out. So this knee pushing this way and this leg pulling this way. And that's what's twisting your hips. Hands out, gaze over the front fingers. Exhale, extended side angle. Lean all the way forward while keeping the length in the upper body. And twist. The bottom hand comes to the outside of the leg. The other hand lifts up. You want to be pressing down through both of your feet, lifting up, and you want to feel again like there's a string pulling you here. Don't collapse on this side. Keep it strong. And this knee over your ankle. And take a few more breaths here. Inhale to reverse warrior, so the back hand drops all the way down, front hand comes up and over. Again, keep the length in your side bodies. Don't slouch, don't fall apart. Keep it strong. Press down 90 degrees. Exhale, chaturanga. Windmill your arms all the way back down to the mat, either side of your foot. Step back into high plank. Lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge, foot between your hands. Inhale, warrior one. Palms come up and together facing each other. Step that back foot forward. It's at a 45-degree angle. Front foot is facing forward. Knee slightly bent. Try to get that knee over your ankle if possible. Hips facing forward. You can use your hands to readjust that if you need to. Hands come up and down. Couple of breaths here. Exhale, warrior two. Hands come out wide. Bring your back foot parallel with your mat. 90-degree angle in that front knee. And press down through your feet. All four corners should be pushing down on the ground. Inhale, exhale, extended side angle. So we're going to reach forward again, and then twist. Sorry, I'm backwards. I feel like I should switch around here. There we go, so extended side angle, and then twist. And as you inhale, you want to lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. We can get a few more breaths here. You want your neck in line with your spine. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now you can repeat that sequence up to 3 times, and then go down into cool down if you want. And that's where we're going to go right now. So, inhale, glance forward. Walk your feet to your hands. Cross your feet. Come to a seat. Roll all the way down. Pull your knees in and just give them some love. Draw little circles in the sky or the ceiling. First one way, and then the other. Stretch your legs out long. Bring one knee in. Cross it over the body for a simple twist. In my case right now, right hand out. And breathe, keeping both shoulders on the ground. If you still have some tightness in that hip, just breathe into that area. Inhale back up to center. Switch legs. Left hand out for me in this side. Pull that leg across, keeping both shoulders flat. Inhale both legs up to center. Curl it all in, nice and tight. Last little go. And then relax into Shavasana. We'll be here for 2 minutes. So heels can be touching and spread wide, palms out, facing up. You can kind of tuck your shoulder blades underneath you a little bit. That helps the neck to relax. And breathe. Let your face relax. Bring the tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Feel your temples relax, your forehead, your shoulders, your hips and thighs. I'm thanking you for all the stretching that you've done with them today. And just breathe really lightly, not consciously, just enough to get air. Clear your mind. Go back to the intention you thought. If it was to finish, you finished. And just take a few breaths. Start to feel your fingers. Wiggle them along with your toes. Awaken your body. Feel yourself breathe and come alive. Pull your knees up and roll onto one side, cushioning your head with your arm. Slowly press yourself up to a seated position, eyes closed, head coming up last. Cross your feet. Bring your hands to heart center. Then to your third eye center. The teacher in me honors the teacher in you. Namaste. Thank you for participating in my first video yoga class, 30 minutes of stretch with yoga. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any comments or would like a specific video on anything, please send me an email. I'd be more than happy to help you out. Again, thanks so much, and if you'd like tutorials on each pose, I can also go through those slower and 5-minute videos, whatever you need. Thanks again for coming, and have a wonderful day, evening, or morning, wherever you are.